Howdy, hi, hello. I'm Nate as in Nate8 Games, and today we're going to be taking on Poly Bridge 3. Now I've practically beaten the game at this point, but I wanted to see, can I beat the game using only road pieces? So here in this first level, I'm treating it more as a proof of concept, starting with only 7 pieces for that small 3 road gap, and then building up from there to work myself up to these harder levels in the first world. Now, you can see I was able to beat that with not much difficulty. Now on to the second level. I'm doing basically the exact same thing, but with a much larger gap. It's 6 instead of 4 in the last one. So I'm gonna go for mostly under supports and hope that it works from there. And there you go, level 2 is completed. Now you may be thinking, Nate, this looks pretty easy, but buckle in because it only gets harder from here. Now this level was kind enough to have a little anchor point for me to work from. So using mostly under supports, mostly as if I'm able to use any over supports, I'm trying to work my way out from the middle and only support 2 to 4 roads per section. Because any more than that and it's too heavy. Now you can see it keeps breaking, so I decided to go with some more muscles here. And with that, level 3 completed. Now on to the big bus level. I'm thinking I'll just do the same thing again. It's 8 roads. It's the biggest bridge I've done yet, but if I just go with super deep under supports, you see that I even anchored down even lower in this level, trying to make sure that I would be low enough to support the whole bridge. With a little copy and paste to the other side, adding some muscles on for more support, I'm hoping this will probably work. And yet the bus just keeps going under. I kept finicking with this design until I realized this, even with more muscles, this is not going to work, and the levels are only getting harder from here. So I decided, with that, I just have to restart. This time I decided to go with an arch, because arches are stronger structurally, I believe. And I built back down from the under supports, hoping that using my new arch technique, it would be a breeze. And yet, I keep forgetting to build little roads like that. Now adding more under supports just for a little more structural soundness, and yet the road keeps breaking on that one piece, so I add another muscle. And eventually I just added in a couple more roads, and I almost got it to work there. And with a little bit of tweaking here and one more muscle, I was finally able to get it, and with that, level 4 complete. On to level 5. Now level 5 is practically the same as some of the other levels I have. So I start out with an arch, going for my same arch design, learning from the last level with the bus. I just decide to keep reinforcing. Copy and paste, and there's a pretty good looking bridge, however it doesn't work. So I decided I gotta beef this baby up a little bit. So I added some muscles, I added some side supports there, you see. I redo the muscles because they weren't good enough. I keep trying at this level thinking I just gotta add more. And that's when I realized that roads weigh a lot. So honestly, less is more in this case. And with that, we're on to level 6. Now, this level is interesting because it's a slope followed by a ramp. So I need to make 2 completely different designs. So here I'm working on the slope part because I figured that would be the easiest part. I'm working my way down, I get some supports, and now it's time to move on to the harder side. Now, I have to use the fitting tool, and I realize in this one I don't even get an anchor. So I'm going to try for just an under support using mostly triangles, since triangles are the strongest shape as far as I know. I don't know, maybe you pentagon lovers will tell me differently. Anyway, with a little bit of finicking and a couple of muscles, I'm able to get the bridge to hold on its own. And there it goes. Takes my funny little vehicle up the ramp. On to level 7. Now this is the first bridge that I'll have to dangle, because I didn't think going over the plane was going to be a valid strategy. So I start with using the center support, and then decide to work on those same wall braces. At least this time I have anchor supports for the side. And just like that, I was able to get it. And the police car goes across, and there you have it. On to level 8. Now we got a little tow truck or something, and he's got to work his way over our basic arch road with a little bit of extra muscle work right there. There you have it. That's one strong bridge right there, 2 muscles. Now this is actually one of my favorite bridges in the first world because I was able to get this guy all the way up to like top 50. So I really wanted to kind of leave some of the design of my original bridge, let it fall down on the middle there, and then be able to ride. And after tons of tweaking, I tried so hard. I let it fall, I let it flip over, it would even do like full 360s, but every time it would break that bridge, I wasn't getting a good landing. So I decided I'll try to brace it up a little more. And even flatten out the bridge, try to make it work, because I wanted this to work so badly. And yet, I just wasn't able to get it. So here's my best attempt. But on that note, I decided to delete it and just make a normal bridge. So I go for another one of those sloping bridges because I want to use the least amount of roads possible, because more roads is heavier, so I want to make the bridges as light as possible. And then I'm realizing it's just taking a nosedive right off the edge of this cliff. I mean, I'm almost jealous. So I'm trying to brace to the ground there, and it's not working because it's getting too heavy. So now I'm just flattening out the curve, seeing if I can get a gradual slope. And just like that, onto the final level of World 1. Now this level is unique because it's the only other level that has to get 2 cars across. And you have 2 anchors. On top of that, it's also the longest bridge, and needing 10 pieces and a sloped, dangling-like bridge. So here I am using tons of supports, and just like that I was able to get it first try. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the first and hopefully a multi-part series. See you next time. Goodbye.